We're live on Instagram and we are live in the Steam Club on Facebook. Yes, God. So today we are going to be discussing making space for our wombs in relationships. I received this feedback a few weeks ago when I asked what type of things that we wanted to discuss. And this came up, and so I want to talk about it today. Yes, God. And hopefully everyone can hear me. Can you give me some feedback? Just let me know if everyone can hear me. Give me a yes, or a one, or a heart, or I love you, you're amazing. No, but let me know if you can hear me so that I can make sure I'm not, nothing's going on with my sound. I want to make sure everyone hears me. I see some hearts. Does that mean everyone can hear me? Just want to make sure. Facebook, can you hear me too? Can you hear me, hear me, hear me? Hearts. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to take that as confirmation that everyone can hear me. Yes, God. All right, so I've been contemplating this and I want to talk about it. I have done some content, some videos before on our wombs and relationships. And so I want to preface this conversation by first and foremost saying that the immediate priority in terms of your womb is your relationship with it. Okay, that's not including anyone else. It's not including your partner, your spouse, your boo thing, your side person, whatever. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to just say that our relationship with our womb is first and foremost something that's very personal and something that is our own responsibility. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing that I want to say about making space for our womb in relationships is that I would hope, and it is my sincerest intention, that if you are giving someone the privilege of being in relationship with you, especially if that means having access to your womb space, that there is already a level of respect there. Okay, there's already a level of honoring there. And I say this because I feel like that in and of itself kind of gives you a good starting point to allow someone else in to your own womb journey. Um, to be completely honest, I'm thinking about my own relationship and my own marriage. I share what's going on with my womb at any particular time with my husband. Of course, he knows if I'm menstruating or, what's going on, or if I have something weird going on, or if I'm going to steam. He knows about that. He's right here with me. And I also am openly communicative with him about that. I can say for my relationship, my husband is very compassionate and interested anyways in my womb. Okay. Now, if I were to be dealing with something specific, trying to heal my womb from, let's say, fibroids, or let's say PCOS, or something, some type of chronic acute issue that I'm on a womb healing journey with, my thoughts are this: whoever you are intimately involved with should have enough care and concern for you as a whole person, okay? From the thoughts in your head to the feelings in your heart to the status of your womb, to care and want to support you in that journey. If you are involved with someone who is intimately accessing your womb space and they are not concerned about what the status of your womb is and how they can support you in healing it, my suggestion would be to question that entire connection. Okay. And so there's different parts. I feel like just because someone may not understand our wombs or how they work, or how how certain things can help us, or what is steaming all about, or how is fasting going to help deal with womb issues. Even if they don't understand that, there should be a level of compassion that gets them to want to understand it, to want to research it with you, to want to be, and even if they not necessarily research it with you, but support you. If you, because again, it is your responsibility. Your womb health is your responsibility. If someone that you are in a partnership with loves you and cares for you, they will support you in whatever you're doing to try to better yourself. I see a request to have someone go live with me. I'm not sure. Is there a question? Let me just let me see. Let me let you. I'm gonna let you come in and go live. I want to make sure that we're sticking to the topic. Let me let's see here. Hello, can you hear me? Hi.
Hi, I'm requesting to join. I took a whole live down. I'm just
Oh,
listening.
okay.
Hi,
Okay.
buddy.
Hi. Okay, and if anyone does, I'll take you off the live. If anyone does have questions that they want to ask, though, there's a question bar at the bottom, the little circle with a question in it. So please feel free to ask a question there. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right. Hey, hey, hey. So I see some people joining now. Basically, what we're discussing is making space for your womb in relationship. And the cliff notes of what I'm saying is that if there is not space for your best self in your relationship, whether it's your mental state, your emotional state, your womb space, and by the way, all three of those are highly interconnected. If there is not space for that, I would call you to question the integrity and the basis of your relationship. Because if someone loves you, honors you, cares about you, they want to see you as your best version. They want to see your optimal health. And that doesn't necessarily mean that, they have to be, actually, I'm not even gonna say that because I'm like, yes, they should be. If you say, babe, I need some herbs. Can you give me some herbs from Yes Scott Wellness? They should be like, okay, yeah, whatever you need, whatever I can do. So I feel like at the end of the day, I don't really have a lot of context to this question, and please feel free to chime in, everyone, if you have some context or you have a specific question. But I just feel like he, I'm gonna just break it down for you, the long and short of it right now. Okay, so whatever relationship you are in should come at an equal or higher point than the relationship with yourself. Meaning, if I have established that I truly feel like I'm worthy, I truly feel like I love myself, I truly respect myself, I truly honor myself, I truly feel connected to my womb space and understand that my body has the natural inclination to heal itself, then that should be the starting point, okay? And so anyone who I am entertaining to be in a relationship with should also feel that way about me. If we are in a situation where someone is showing us that they're not respecting they're not respecting our feelings, they're not respecting the strides that we make for our optimal health, and they're not listening to us, they're not prioritizing us. The question would be, are you doing those things for yourself? Are you prioritizing yourself? Are you honoring yourself? Are you respecting yourself? Are you loving yourself? Because at the end of the day, we are the catalyst and we give access and permission to us. Okay, so if we're giving access and permission to ourselves, and especially our womb spaces, to people who are not aligned with how we want to be treated, we then need to look internally and say, what is it about me that doesn't feel worthy of being treated well? Yes, God. What is it inside of me that still is a little, because usually it's a little crack somewhere. And I can speak to my own personal um, experience when I was entertaining people who, even then, I can't even just say looking back, but when I was entertaining people who um, I just didn't feel valued by. I didn't feel prioritized. I kind of felt like, they could take it or leave it. And, they were really self-absorbed in themselves. They weren't really into, how can we work together and how can we create something and how can we establish this bond. Um, Looking back at those times, that was when my own self-esteem was very low, when I didn't value my own feelings and my own heart. Because the thing is, if you value your feelings and your heart, you will not allow yourself to be treated poorly by another person. Straight up. If you value your feelings and your heart, you will not allow yourself to be treated poorly by another person. And if you are in a situation where you are allowing yourself to be treated poorly by another person, that is no one's responsibility but your own to change that. And the way that you change that is by implementing boundaries. Okay? And first and foremost, those boundaries need to be with yourself. For example, I can say, okay, you know what? I don't like when this person doesn't respond to me when I contact them, or I don't like when this person, we have a conversation and I feel like they're not listening to me. Okay. And so it's one thing to say, I'm not going to have, I'm not going to contact this person anymore. Hello, in this wellness house. Yes, God. But the initial boundary needs to be in here. My boundary I need to look at my internal boundaries and look at, what am I available for? Am I available for sometimey people? Am I available for haphazard effort? Am I available for mediocre late night booty calls? Am I available for that? Because the thing is once you establish those boundaries about what you are and are not available for, it's effortless in establishing them with other people. Okay. So if I get a piece of pen and paper, which is my favorite tool, by the way, to work on myself. Okay. This right here is priceless. This and this is priceless. There's tons of different techniques that that usher in and facilitate profound healing. We are going to be discussing a lot of those in the Vaginal Steam Coach certification program, which, by the way, is ending today. So if you're interested, check it out. It's on the link in my bio, and we are going to be closing the doors today because we're going to get started. But so give me 1 second. I have some crystals in my water. Yes, God. I'm on day 4 of my fast. Praise the Lord. And I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling like mentally clear. I'm feeling great. So this is something that everyone can do. Okay. There's a lot of different techniques that I've used throughout the years to facilitate my own personal and spiritual development. But one of the things that you can do as far as establishing your internal boundaries is say, what am I available for? Okay. And this is not about what am I available for in specific minutia. It's about in general, what am I available for? I am available for compassion. Okay. I am available for integrity. I am available for feeling valued. And I strongly encourage everyone on this live or anyone watching this video later to go through and actually give yourself the time. A great time to do this is when you're steaming, and reflect about what are you available for in terms of how you're going to feel. Okay. So it's a lot of times it's easier for people to say, okay, I know how I don't want to feel. Okay. So if I don't want to feel rejected, we can start on the negative side. I don't want to feel rejected. So, okay, what's the opposite of rejected? I want to feel accepted. Y'all give me some in the comments. Give me some of it doesn't matter. You can give me how you want to feel or how you don't want to feel, and I will and I can kind of go from there and give you either the opposite or the same. And then we're going to talk about what that looks like in terms of an internal boundary. Okay, so I am not available to feel rejected. I'm not available to feel like I'm not being heard. I am not available to feel neglected. Yes, appreciated. Okay. So I am available to feel appreciated. Okay. That's a good one. So I see that important. Yes, God. Important. Okay. So appreciate, I see 2 appreciated, I see important. Is there anything going on over here on Facebook? No, I see some people watching on Facebook, but I don't see any comments on Facebook, which is fine. Okay, so available for being respected. Yes, God. Okay, so these are really good. Keep them coming too if you have more. So let's take my list that I have so far as what we're available for. Okay, so if we say that we're available for feeling appreciated, we're available for feeling important, and we're available for feeling respected. Okay, if we have already identified what, and so what needs to happen is we need to get really clear about this. Okay, and then we also need to get really clear about having self-awareness and being present with ourselves in moments of life. Okay, so we need be, and the reason I say that is because we need to be able to identify, okay, this transaction just happened with this person. We just had a conversation, we just had an escalation, something just happened, and now I need to be aware of how am I feeling right now, okay? Am I feeling appreciated right now? Am I feeling important, and am I feeling respected? All right. So if the answer is no to those questions, then what needs to happen? First of all, it needs to be identified here, okay? Because a lot of times this is the underlying root of arguments and confrontations that we have with other people. Resentment. It may not even be an argument. It may be a resentment that is seeded and it's planted and now it's building. Okay, so what this is why self-awareness and things like steaming and meditation and journaling and gratitude practices are so important, because it allows us to practice being present with ourselves. Okay, so one of the things that I'm really, really big on is called the pause. Okay, and the pause basically is the practical application of learning how to observe yourself. So when you notice that you feel a way that is not comfortable for you, the first thing that you should do is pause and reflect, okay, what was the trigger that now has me feeling this way? Okay, because there's a trigger, and then there is an internal dialogue that happens that creates a feeling. Okay, and this also is why self-talk is so important to master and to learn to witness and observe, because our self-talk is what creates an emotional response. Okay, and this is why there's even scriptures about the life and death is in the power of the tongue. Okay. And the tongue is not just the words that you speak, but it's the words that you speak internally without having to verbalize them. So you may have an encounter or a situation and you say, "Oh my God, that was really fucked up." I can't believe they said that to me. I can't believe they interrupted me like that. I can't believe they responded to me in this way. Okay, and it doesn't necessarily even have to include another person. I'm going to talk about the context of another person being involved in this because we're talking about making space for our wombs in relationships. But even if it's something that you may be scrolling on Instagram and you see something that triggers you to feel insecure about yourself. Oh my gosh, you look so good. I'm so this and and I don't have this, and whatever the self-talk is, the first step is being aware of it, observing it, okay? And once we observe it and are aware of it, then we can identify, okay, when I do this thing or when I think this way, it makes me feel crappy. So let me first and foremost look at my own interpretation of this thing that happened. Because something that I noticed about myself, especially in my 20s and my early 30s, was that I would internalize other people's actions and assign meanings to them. Right? So, like, oh, if they love me, they wouldn't do this. And if they love me, they would do that. To be perfectly frank, we have no fucking business trying to trying to assign meaning to anyone's action, okay? That is a projection. To say that, oh, this means that they don't love me, or this means they do love me, or this means that they don't respect me, and this means that okay, that's a personal issue, okay? We have a choice in how we interpret things. Yes, someone may make us feel like we're not being appreciated. Yes, someone may make us feel like we're not important. Someone may make us feel like we have been disrespected, okay? But ultimately, it is our responsibility to manage that, okay? And so if we are in a relationship of any type, number one, first and foremost, in order for it to be healthy, there should be able to be healthy communication. Not just about good things, but about crunchy things too, about things that kind of okay? So what happens a lot of times when there's issues in relationships, people get on the defense and they get offended and they want to kind of, put up this screen of. So a really good resource for this also is the Four Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. And the Four Agreements are never take anything personal. Always do your best. I'm trying to remember them. Let me Google them real quick because my mind is blanking out right now. I'm so grateful for Google, y'all. Praise God. Okay, so the Four Agreements are, okay. The first agreement is be impeccable with your word. Okay, here we go talking about those words again. The words, especially that he's referring to in that book, are the words not only spoken, but first and foremost that are in the mind. Because anything that is coming out of your mind, out of your mouth, started in your mind, right? Like when you have a thought to say something, you have a thought to say it and then you say it. So words start right here. We think they might start here, but they start here. So Erykah Badu has a wonderful, like, timeless lyric. You don't have to believe everything you think. I would take it a step further and say you shouldn't believe most of the things you think, because a lot of our thinking has been programmed in us through other people. And there's a lot of fear there. There's a lot of trauma there. Anyway, so the first agreement, being impeccable with your word, being impeccable with how you process things. Your words matter because they directly affect how you feel about things. The second agreement is never to take anything personal. Why should we never take anything personal? Because everyone is always only projecting. That's all they're doing. So if you have someone who is constantly, oh my God, I don't trust them. I don't, they're always mistrustful of other people. Guess what? That is not a trustworthy person. Okay? They are assuming that everyone is like them. Okay? If you have someone who is always seeing the good in other people to their detriment, okay, they are projecting. They feel and probably are a very good person, but they are ignorant to the fact that not everyone is the same. And this is something that I dealt with for a long time in my life, is that I would project that everyone had a really good heart and everyone was really just out to help and everyone was just really a great person. Why did I project that on people and why did I give people the benefit of the doubt? Because that's who I am and was. Okay? So, never taking anything personal, good or bad, because everyone is different. Okay? And everyone is always only projecting. I deal with that too, trying to break that. Yes, God, that's important. And for me personally, I had to get burned. I had to get, really, really hurt, really humiliated, really embarrassed to have the revelation like, damn, this nigga's just a horrible person. Fuck. I thought he was a really good person. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had to have that mirror be confronted to me and really see and have to deal with the fact that no, everybody is not the same as you, Megan. Everyone is not the same as you. Okay? So take a moment to think about, what do you think about other people? And I'm not talking about what you say, I'm talking about what you think. Are you constantly judging people? Are you looking at people and like, oh my God, her outfit. Oh no, girl, why did you do that with your hair? Oh no, girl, why? You need to lose some weight. Da, 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 da. All you're doing is telling the world and the universe how you truly think of yourself. If you are constantly judging other people, you have low self-esteem. I don't debate. So I know they have a saying like, debate me, argue with me. I don't do debating and I don't do arguing. But if you're constantly judging and nitpicking, looking down on other people, you have self-worth issues and you have low self-esteem and you need to deal with it. Okay. The third agreement is, do not make assumptions. And this is what I'm talking about when I say assigning meaning to other people's actions. Okay. We can assume that when someone says this or when someone reacts this way or when someone does this, it means that they don't or they do, or we try to have these neat little boxes of what other people's behavior and words mean. But the bottom line is, we have no clue. Our only business on this earth is right here. I know it doesn't feel like that because we have partnerships, we have children, we have friendships, we have all types of other, relationship dynamics that we're dealing with. We have businesses, we have jobs. The bottom line is that you cannot make assumptions about anything because you don't know. You are your only responsibility and you are the only experience that you can have. Okay, even if someone can tell you, like, this is how I'm feeling, this is what it meant, this is da 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 da, you don't know what their lens of perspective is. Okay, so you cannot make assumptions about what anyone else does or says. I will definitely save this live. By the way, all of my Womb Wellness Wednesdays are saved and then uploaded to my YouTube channel. So please, if you have not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's a ton of content over there back from when I first started my business. So going back about 4, almost 5 years now, I have videos all the way through. So it's a gold mine over there. Yes, God. And then the last agreement is always do your best. Your best. Okay? Whatever your best means for you. So that the number one word that I think about when I hear that agreement is compassion. Okay. Because I feel like, and I can only speak for myself, but I feel like I still deal with sometimes beating myself up because I feel like I could have done something better. Oh, I should, I could have done that. I could have had more discipline in that. I could have done more here. I should have had these many things completed already. The bottom line is that we can only give the best that we have, and not every day is 100% day. Some days we're not there. We are not in that energy to be able to give to what our capacity may have been on another day. So it's important to have compassion with ourselves and make sure that we're honoring just whatever we have for that day. Okay. But it's also important on the flip side to be sure to honor, honor what we can do and not be lazy. Okay. And not be just kind of half-assing stuff because we don't feel like doing something. Okay. So doing your best to me means having integrity with our own selves and saying, you know what, I can do a little bit extra right now, so I'm going to do it. Even if I may not get credit for it or I may not get recognized for it, I want to be the best that I can be in this moment. So I'm going to give that. Not, girl, they only paying me $15,000. I'm going to do exactly what it says and I'm going to do the bare minimum. Because when you have that energy and that attitude about life, guess what you receive? Do you think that you're receiving your maximum abundance that you can receive if you're always trying to do the bare minimum? You're not. You're receiving the bare minimum. And this is why it's so important to do this work, to be honest with ourselves, to be have integrity with ourselves. Because again, I can get up here and I can do these lives and I can talk about all this stuff, but if I don't go into my own personal life and have integrity about the principles and the philosophies that I'm talking about, guess what? I'm not going to reap the rewards that come from this. I have learned to try to be a little better each day and show myself grace when I fall short, but never giving up. Yes, God. Exactly. Being better each day, showing yourself grace and compassion when you fall short, but never just throwing in the towel, you know? Because at the end of the day, gratitude is the ultimate therapist. Anytime that you are going through something and you're feeling low, and it may not feel like it in the moment, it may feel like, you may even feel like, oh, I do not feel like, yeah, I'm grateful, like, but at the end, like, all it takes is for a situation to flip for you to get that gratitude real quick. I was thinking about this earlier today. Okay, honey, I love you. Um, my man about to go to the pool. I'm like, I want to go up there. It's hot. Um, sorry. I was thinking about it today, actually. I was driving home from the post office and I was just because I do gratitude every day as a practice, okay? And I've recently started getting back more into and like really digging into gratitude. Like not just, oh, I'm grateful for my house, I'm grateful for my husband, I'm grateful for my like I am so grateful that I have a husband that supports me in my womb health. I am so grateful that I have a husband that will go to the store and get me, whatever I need, whether it's, whatever. Um some depends, because let me tell you something, when I was this is TMI, but after I had my daughter, my first cycle was ridiculous. Okay. And that's a whole nother live, but that's because I kind of allowed my eating and my weight to get out of control. That's a whole nother issue. But I'm so grateful that, you know, I'm not just grateful for my home. I'm grateful for the fact that I have a whole office in my home, that I have a whole space dedicated to my work so that I can be focused and I can perform and give excellence to anything that I put my hands on. Thank you, God. I'm so grateful that I have running water in my home, that I can use the bathroom inside my home in the comfort of cool air. Like, not just gratitude, like, oh yeah, I'm grateful for that, I'm grateful for that, I'm grateful for that, I'm grateful for my love, I'm grateful for, like, no, get into it. Like, really get down into the nitty-gritty about it, okay? I'm grateful for my closet because it has enough space to hold my clothes. I can put my jewelry in there. I have my accessories in there. I love how I have shelves on the top and bottom so that I can organize things. Like, really get yourself emotionally involved in your gratitude. And I promise you that that one practice alone will change your entire vibration, and it will change everything that is coming towards you. Okay. I used to use complaining as a form of humor. I remember I had a friend back. We were actually childhood friends, and we were friends up until about my early 20s, mid 20s, and we just used to literally sit on the phone and just talk shit. We would just complain about our mothers, about, you know, people, about ourselves. We would nitpick our bodies. But we would do it in a joking way. We would do it kind of like a comedic kind of tone to it. And it was horrible. You know, when I think back about it, I was like, dang, wow. You know, and so really be mindful of that. Really be mindful of, you know, not just because it's not just about, okay, I'm doing this gratitude practice right now and I'm doing it, but be mindful of, you know, when you want to go in there, and I've talked about this before, obsessive gratitude. When, you know, I remember when I was pregnant and I went in the post office and I wanted to complain. I was like, oh my God, this line is so long. Ugh, they're taking forever. Like, why do these people have all this stuff? Like, why didn't you just do the shipping at home and just come and drop it off like me? Like, you know, all of the things that we kind of start, and mind you, this is self-awareness, observing the words. These words were not coming out of my mouth. The words were speaking in my mind. So this is what I mean about life and death is in the power of the tongue. Your tongue first starts here. My tongue that day was being real ungrateful. And I had to, and in my awareness, I caught it in that moment. And I said, you know what? Let me flip this and look at what do I have to be grateful for in this moment. And that flip of that switch, I was like, bitch. First of all, the fact that you have access to the postal service, okay? And how do I know? Because I've been to Cuba. I've been to the Caribbean islands. I've seen living conditions where you have to pay to get on the Wi-Fi and go to a public park because they don't have it in the homes. I've been in situations where there's no access to a post office. They don't have that. So first of all, if you are in the United States, you need to Saint Fu and really realize how much better you have your quality of life than 95 probably more percent of the world. Okay, the fact that we have roofs over our heads, we have, you know, what is it, the housing authority like rules about the habitable conditions. If you went to Cuba, okay, and there's a lot of stuff going on with Cuba right now, it's horrible. Okay, we have to start being really, really grateful about things that we take for granted. So anyway, to finish that story about the post office, I'm sitting there in my mind complaining and complaining. And then I had to observe myself and be like, God, I am so, thank you for being able to stand inside to wait at this line for the post office. Thank you for there being cool air because it's hot outside. Thank you for the confidence of knowing that when I put something in this post office, someone is going to receive it. Thank you, God, for allowing me to have a business that people value. that they actually go and buy my products and pay to get the value that my products and services offer. Okay, I had to flip the whole paradigm on myself because I caught myself being an ungrateful person and complaining. And again, this wasn't a conversation I was having with anyone else. This was something, because you know what was happening? Guess what was happening when I was doing that? I started to feel crappy. I started to feel so irritated. So this is what I mean when I say that your words in your mind affect your emotional state. This is why it's so important to gather and get control of your self-talk, because your self-talk is directly responsible for your emotional state. If you're depressed, if you have anxiety, it is because of your self-talk. Okay? It is because of the things that you are telling yourself. The things that you are telling yourself are making you anxious. The things that you're telling yourself are making you feel depressed. The things that you're telling yourself are making you feel angry. The things that you're telling yourself are making you feel unappreciated. The things that you're telling yourself are making you feel unimportant. The things that you're telling yourself are making you feel disrespected. Okay, so even if you're in an argument with someone who's calling you out your name and telling you ain't shit and going in about this and this and that, okay, if you have enough control of your mind and your self-talk, you can literally, because I've done it, I've been like, wow, this person is talking about themselves right now. I feel compassion for you because you don't feel like you're worthy of anything. So whatever that old saying, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you, that's real talk. We didn't know that back in the day, but that's real talk. And that's the part about not taking anything personally, that second agreement, because literally that is what's happening. Okay, and this has worked for me in so many instances where someone is trying to tell me, oh, you ain't this and you didn't do and da 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 da, but it's like, you're projecting right now. You're projecting on me. I don't accept that. I'm not available for that. I'm not available to feel unappreciated. And I will not let your unappreciation for yourself be projected onto me. I will not allow that. I'm not available for it. And this is why personal boundaries are so important. Okay? Now, can you gain what's the word I want to use? Can you gain insight from someone's projection on you? Yes. You can. But your first line of defense with anyone, okay? Not even line of defense. Your natural state should be, you're projecting. You're projecting on me. That doesn't mean that their projections don't pertain to you. But it also doesn't mean that they do. You are in control and you get to decide. Is that true? If someone calls me an ungrateful hoe, right? A normal person's first response would be like, "Oh, you call me." But what I find is that when you know who you are, when you love yourself, and when you have defined for your own self, this is who I am. I am a good person. I have a good heart. I have integrity. I have loyalty. I have respect. When you truly grasp onto that and you truly identify with that, it doesn't matter what anybody says to you. They can say whatever. And I'm like, oh, wow, you're an ungrateful hoe? Immediately, like seriously, any words that people say to you, they are speaking about themselves. Just like when you say words to other people, you are speaking about yourself. This is why what you do in your own time and how you pour into yourself and your meditation and your practicing and your steaming and your affirming yourself. This is why affirmations are so important and so powerful, because they are the words, they are the tongue that is creating life or death. So I'm going to keep saying to myself, I am so happy and grateful to earn $1 million every year. I am so happy and grateful, even if I don't believe it. Even if I don't believe it, my thoughts come to form. This is universal law. I see some comments. This is so good, Meg. Thank you. Yes, God, I love that. I am unavailable. I don't accept that. Yes. When you know who you are. Exactly. When you truly know who you are. Okay. And knowing who you are, let me bust the bubble. It takes inner work. You have to practice this. Okay. You can decide, hey, you know what? This is who I'm going to be today. And you can write it down and you can say, I follow through. I'm on time for everything. I'm not late. I love, being able to pay my bills in advance. I don't do the bare minimum. I put in extra effort. Like, define who it is, but then have your actions match that. Show up as that person. Be that person. Yes, God, please share with your daughter. Share with everybody. Share with as many people as you can, because I think a lot of times we're waiting for someone to come in and validate us. We're waiting for the external world to say that we're worthy, that we're beautiful, that we're worthy of love, or that we're important, or that we're appreciated. Appreciate yourself. Appreciate yourself enough to not be engaged with people who treat you like shit. Because you expecting somebody to appreciate you that don't even appreciate nothing in their own life. When's the last time you heard them talk about gratitude? When's the last time you heard them say thank you? And that's the person that you waiting to be appreciated from? Come on now. We got to use common sense. We have to take responsibility for ourselves. Okay? We cannot look to other people to define who we are. That is our responsibility. So as far as circling this all back to making space for wombs in our womb and relationship, first and foremost, if you are in a relationship, if you are in a relationship that you are making space for, your womb is a part of that. And so if there's no space for your womb in your relationship, you need to question, is there room for you in your relationship? Why am I in a situation where I cannot heal my most powerful, intimate, sacred part of myself and have a conversation with someone who supports and loves me in that? Why are you in that relationship? I'm gonna keep it a buck. Why? Sorry, y'all. I'm getting like, so, yes, God, and so I want us all to be the best versions of ourselves. And I want us all to understand that we don't need anything external to validate who we are. This has been so eye-opening. What should you suggest to heal from parents that said really mean things to me as a child, to the point where I subconsciously believe those things about myself? Okay, that's a great, great, great question. The first and foremost thing, and I know it's going to be hard, okay? For someone like that, you need to be affirming daily. You need to be affirming to yourself to reprogram those subconscious thoughts. I am worthy of love. I am valuable. Everything I touch turns to gold. Okay, you need to be formulating some affirmations that are countering those negative things that came from your parents. Okay, and you need to be disciplined and diligent in saying those to yourself over and over and over and over and over again. Divine order is now established in my mind, body, and affairs. Divine order is now established in my mind, body, and affairs. This takes discipline. And it's not discipline in actually doing something other than the internal part, which is affirming those words that the life and death is in the power of. We have to take control of that and affirm. Okay? Affirmations are not something that you just do one time in the morning in the mirror and then you're done with it. No, this is something that you have to continually do to reprogram. Also, Understand that your parents were hurt people. Okay, this takes compassion. This takes forgiveness. And I've talked a lot about forgiveness because forgiveness is forgiveness is one of the most powerful forces in the world. Because what happens when we don't forgive and when we hold resentment, we're holding a bond to that person and to that experience. In order to let that go, we have to forgive and we have to release. Okay? But truly, truly give yourself time to reflect on the fact that your parents, if they had that in them to treat you that way, they were treated that way and probably worse. Okay? Because we can only give what we have. We can only give what we have. And that's why it's so important to do this work, because we don't want to give this low self-esteem and this low self-worth and this unappreciation of ourselves and this, not prioritizing ourselves and not making ourselves important and giving to everyone first and putting ourselves last and disrespecting our own feelings and our own wishes and our own preferences. We don't want to give that to other people, because whether you think you are or not, if you have that within you, that is what you're offering to other people. Okay? Thank you, God. I'm so grateful for these comments. I'm so grateful that this is such timely content for you right now. I hope that this is just permeating your spirit and that you are really gaining an understanding of the fact that how I do anything is how I do everything. If I love and appreciate myself, I am going to magnetize people who love and appreciate me as well. Yes, self-affirmation. I had the same experience as a child. I looked for validation in all the wrong places. Me too. But I've evolved and I am stronger than ever because I put in the work. So I say that to say you're going to be all right. Yes. Yes, you are. You're going to be amazing. And I'm gonna keep it 100 and I'm gonna keep it a buck again. We have to stop the victim mentality. Okay? And I know we want to tiptoe around it, and Western approach to therapy is let's talk about it. Let's continue to rehash it and let's dig into why it made you, and let's talk about your inner child and all. That's great to release it, because a lot of times we suppress it, but we have to make a decision that, what, I am no longer going to be a victim. I am no longer going to allow the poor decisions of someone else dictate who I am. I am done with that. I am the victor in my story. I am victorious. No matter what happens to me, no matter what happened to me, those motherfuckers cannot control my destiny. I am destined for greatness. God created me with a divine purpose, and I am here to fulfill it. And I am going to take responsibility for that. Because there's a point where, yes, we need to look at the past and we need to look at our trauma so that we can identify it. But living there doesn't do anything. Living there is pointless. Okay? It is. And this is, I don't mean for this to be tough love, and I don't mean to hurt anyone with this, but we got to get out of this victim shit, because it's not helping you. It's not. My mother did a lot of fucked up things to me when I was young. Okay? My mother did a lot of, my father abandoned me when I was young. But you know what? Why would I continue to allow the rest of my life to be dictated by what two broken people did in their decisions about raising their child? Okay, exactly. And when you relive an experience over and over, you're going to create more of the same. You're going to attract more of the same. You have to get control of your mind. You have to stop feeling sorry for yourself. You have to wrap your mind around the concept that we've all had trauma. We've all had fucked up experiences. But now it's time for us to say no more. It is time for us to put our foot down. It's time for us to have a boundary with ourselves and say, listen, you are not going to keep making yourself feel bad. You are not going to keep leaning on this as an excuse to not make good decisions for yourself. You are not going to use this as an excuse to not live to your full potential. You are not going to use this as an excuse to not have boundaries anymore. You're not going to use this as an excuse to be in relationships that make you feel like shit and make you feel like your parents made you feel. Okay? This is a decision that we have to make. And again, this is no one else's responsibility. You're not going to snap your fingers one day and then everybody's going to start treating you different. You have to be the change. You know what I realized in all my shitty relationships? I was the common denominator. I leave one and now I'm in a relationship with another one that ain't no better. So what the hell am I? What's the common denominator here? It's me. Oh, okay, maybe I need to change. Because we walk around pointing at everybody else about what they need to do differently and how they need to do this, and they need to appreciate me and they need to respect me and they need to listen to me. No, you need to do that to yourself. You got to do it to yourself. No one else is going to do it for you. That's right. Take control of your life. And a really great resource for this that I love is The Holistic Psychologist, because I think a lot of times we like to see memes and we like to see, oh, you know, do this and do your gratitude. But are you actually doing it? Are you actually getting up in the morning and not jumping on your phone and jumping into content that makes you feel insecure and like shit about your life? Are you actually having some discipline about when you hear a thought come up? Divine order is now established in my mind, body, and affairs. Divine order is now established in my mind, body, and affairs. I am not available for that thought. Divine order is now. You have to have these affirmations memorized so that you can pull them up at the drop of a dime. Turn your eyes inward always. Yes, God. Thank you so much. You're amazing too. And guess what? Anybody who is listening to this and who is here now, this is who you are. Because guess what? You would not be able to magnetize this type of content to you unless you were here now. Unless you have already made the decision. Because we can only attract what we are. So if you're dealing with narcissists, you are codependent. If you're dealing with people who don't appreciate you, you're not appreciating yourself enough yet. If you're dealing with people who don't show you priority or show you love or give you attention or prioritize yourself, baby girl, it's time for you to stop the bullshit and take control of yourself. Get your own house in order. Everyone outside of you, everyone is you pushed out. Okay? Everyone is you pushed out. And that may sting a little bit, but you don't know what he did. And he, let me tell you something. My son's father, okay, cheated on me when I was 17 years old. My son has a sister who is 7 days older than him. 7 days. Okay? I could have chosen to hold on to that for the rest of my life and allow that to make me feel like I was not worthy. Like I was never going to have a good man. Like I was just embarrassed and humiliated. Okay, I could have done that. So when I say that we all have our story, we all have our trauma, we all have men or women who have treated us like dog shit. But guess what? That doesn't, we choose to tolerate that. Because guess what? In that story, do you think that him having a baby 7 days apart from me was the first time that I saw that he was disrespectful? Do you think that was the first clue I had? Or did I see the red flags from the beginning but ignore them because I wanted someone to validate me so bad that I was willing to overlook the not? Let me tell you something. People show you who they are within 5 minutes of a conversation with them. You have to be real with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. And you have to have made this decision about what you are and are not available for. And sometimes that means that you need to be alone for a while. And sometimes you're scared to be alone because you feel like, oh, well, what am I going to do? Trust God. That's what you're going to do. You're going to trust God. You're going to have faith. You're going to understand that the universe works in a vacuum. Okay? The only way that I can make space to put more water in here is I have to get rid of it. I can't get something new if I'm not willing to let go of what I already have. I cannot do it. There's no space for it. And this is how life works. And so we have to stop being scaredy cats and waiting for God to do something. God moves when we move. We have so much more power and control than we think we do. There's this whole paradigm of, God, can you please? God looking like, I'm trying. I'm trying to do it. Where you at? You don't have the space. I put you next to your real husband the other day in the grocery store, but you was too busy stressed out about the argument you had with this bitch ass nigga. Get your mind and your heart and your emotions in order. Let go of things that are not serving you. I promise you God will come through with the alley-oop and give you the come up. I promise. Okay? Y'all got me cussing now. Anyways, I hope this was a good live for you. I hope this was I hope there were some messages in here that you needed, and I hope these resonated with you, and I hope that you can share this with others. Like I said, this will be up on my YouTube channel. I love you all so much, and I mean that. I love you too. I'm so grateful for my Yes God family. And I'm just so grateful. I even wrote it in my journal this morning. I was like, I'm so grateful for the experiences that I've had in life, because I've had a lot, because they give me now the authority to talk about them. I couldn't talk about ain't shit niggas and how to handle them unless I dealt with them. So be grateful for all things, because they are all working out for your good. But you have to be in the mental space to really believe. You got to start believing that. And if you don't believe it right now, that's okay. Start affirming. Okay? Spaced repetition of something, even if you think it's bullshit at first, it will start to seep in. Just like what your parents did to you. Just like what your parents said to you. Just like how your parents treated you. If it was some bullshit, guess what? Even though it wasn't true, it seeped in. Because it was repetitive. So now you have the opportunity to start reprogramming that, whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. So timely. It gave what it was supposed to give and more. Yes, God. That's a beautiful thing. Yes, God. I love you all. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for being willing to receive. And, thank you for, I'm speaking in advance. Thank you for implementing what I'm talking about. And making today the day that you decide no fucking more. I'm not going to allow that to be my story anymore. No. It's over. I'm done with it. I'm not available for that anymore. Y'all have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon. Again, be sure to check out the STEAM Coach certification. Also, while we're here, it has not dropped yet, but I'm going to give y'all a little tidbit. The STEAM Queens Manifesting Mastermind is about to go down, okay? And it is a monthly membership. We're going to be working on this stuff. We're going to be manifesting together. We're going to be steaming together. So the steam sessions that I used to do last year, we're going to pick those back up again, but it's actually going to be a community, okay? And we are going to be working on custom affirmations based on exactly what you're dealing with. We're going to be dealing with, we're going to do our live STEAM sessions together. We're going to be doing, it's going to be guided guided manifesting through affirming. Can you share some of the affirmations with us? Oh my God, I could do you one better. So check out Soul Affirmations, SOL Affirmations. Okay, it's by a group called Soul Development, and I hope I pronounce this right. Karega Bally and Felicia Gangloff Bailey. They're a couple who have come up with this amazing affirmation tape. Okay, it's on Spotify. I'm sure it's everywhere else. Check it out. Also, if you go to my YouTube channel, Yes God Wellness, I have a steaming playlist. Go under my playlist. I have a steaming playlist. There's lots of affirmations on there. Okay. So again, thank you so much for joining me. I'll probably be dropping Steam Queens next week. It's all ready to go. I just need to do some finishing touches on the back end. I've been really diligent about finishing the certification program. If you have signed up for the certification program, you will be receiving an email today. We have decided that we are going to be meeting on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So check your email shortly. I love you so much, and I will talk to y'all soon. Peace.